Okay, for this next lesson, I'm going to show you how I do my super fast knotting. The fastest way to do it is to use a braided cord, not a twisted cord, because it's just faster. If you're going to use a twisted cord, then you certainly need to use a knotting awl because it will ensure that your knots come out right. But I'm going to give you like the basics of how I make my malas. So sometimes it depends on like the size of the beads, because the smaller the beads, the more knots. So I usually take 225 inches of this and I fold it in half. So it ends up, 225 divided by 2, that's about, 110 inches. So it is very, very long, but that's okay. So I fold it in half. And then what I do is I attach a leadered needle. And the leadered needle is and we sell the leadered needle kits on our website. It comes with your John James needle with the fishing line. So what I do is I attach this to this here, and I do a double overhand knot to get it on. Okay, so there we go. And you want to offset it. I think that's offset. You just don't want the knot to be like at the bend right here. Okay, see that? So and the thing is, if you're wondering like, well, why don't I use a big-eyed needle? Well, the big-eyed needle, sometimes you put those on and it's the needle that is a problem because the bead hole is too small for the eye. So the solution is the leadered needle. So I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna put some beads on. And this is it's not a way, it is the way, because it is so fast. Because when you're making a necklace like this, especially if you're selling jewelry, you need to be able to do this really fast, because otherwise, time is money. And plus another thing, let me just give you a tip. Because you've got a needle, what I do is I take like 3 at a time and just go straight through, or whatever fits on your fingers. If it's like 2 or 1 or like whatever, just grab them. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't like take them off the strand, because I don't know why I used to do that, and then one day I'm like, that is not a good idea, because you're just stringing them on one at a time, and it just takes so much longer. And with the way I do this, I could do 100 in 10 minutes. But that's with certain things going on. So there are a couple of ways you could do this. I'm heavy-handed when I do my knotting, so I like to use I have my board, and I do a lot of bead crochet. So I've got this cleat on here. We sell the bead crochet kits if you're interested in that as well. So you could buy one of these, or you could go to your hardware store and buy one, and then just get some screws. So I'm sure that if you go to like Home Depot or something like that, you could like find one there. So I'm going to slide these down, and since I'm not quite sure what direction this is going to take, because I don't know if I'm going to do something like this, or I don't know. But when I do a necklace like this, I start here and I end here. So I'm basically starting and ending in the same place. So I'm going to leave like maybe, let's see, just for wiggle room, 15 inches of cord, and then I'm going to put my knot right here. I'm going to slide that on there. And then like I said, I like to get a lot of tension on the cord. So I'm going to come in and just wrap it around this cleat. So like, you see how it still slides? If you wrap it enough times, it'll like stop sliding. Okay, that's good. See that? Boom. So let me see if I can scoot this up so you can see just how this is done. Okay, so oh my goodness. Hang on, let me get it perfect. So I just like flip. Oh, let me hang on. Let me zoom out a little bit more. So I just like flip it over like that and then under. And so it's, you've basically made the overhand knot and then you just slide it backwards and take this bead and then tighten. So it's, I'll go real slow, really slow, because I know when I'm trying to teach this in one of my private classes, it does give people like trouble. So hold it and then just kind of just flip it over. See that? Flip it over. If you want to stop the video right about here just to see what I'm doing, that maybe that's a good idea. So I'll just hold it there for a second. Because this is the spot that gives people the most problems. You just like, you go right there. And as long as this cord is like dangling at the top, see that? You're good to go. So you just flip it all the way through. And it's supposed to like be right there, but this one didn't happen. Hang on, let me fix it. And then you take this one and then you just tighten it down. And let me do one that's done the right way. Okay. Because when you do it, it should just go just like that. That's what you want. And then you just slide it back. And then you take this bead and then you tighten. And then you just like loosen it up a little bit and then like and then slide it back and tighten. See that? I'll do it a couple of more times. Just grab it and flip it. And then right there. Because the crazy thing is, I mean, once you get that knot, I mean, it's like right where it's supposed to be. I mean, that's like 90% of the battle. And then you come over here and tighten. I mean, there are a couple of ways you could tighten if you want to like get really tight. You grab these cords and like pull them. But and then you need to, let me get some more down. Let me get a few more just over here. And then when you wrap, I hold it like this, and let me see. I wrap a certain way, like that. That could be, yeah. Okay, so let me zoom out. Okay. Flip it over, and I need to get, hang on guys, my beads are under my board. Slide it down and flip it over. And bring it down. Okay. So that's how you do this. And I kid you not, and I'll show you in a minute. But I mean, like just now, like this could like almost be a bracelet. So let me just do a couple of more. And because that's how I do a lot of my knotted bracelets. I mean, I could do them in like 8 minutes. Let me do enough for like a bracelet here. See, so right there, I'll attach a button, and then I have the video on leather loops that's further down the way. Then you could put something like this on one side. See how cute that? Then you put the button. How cute is that? Let me get like, let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so here, I'm going to grab 10 of these. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'm going to put this here. And I'm going to connect this. Okay. Because hang on. But if you don't have a cleat, I mean, you could like, I mean, get creative. As long as you have something around your house that'll like that you can crank it down with. I mean, that's pretty much all you need. Let me get this because it kind of got messed up. I want to show you like the cadence that I. Let's see. Okay, let me grab something here because I want you guys to be fast. Okay. Let's see how long it takes me to do a 10. Okay. All right. I'm going to start. Whoops. Done with a 1 minute. So they're perfectly knotted. I want you guys to be that fast. So you can make your mala necklace in 10 minutes. But this one, of course, it's going to be a little bit like this won't have 100. If this size had 108 beads, it would be like really, really long because the beads are so big. And then what I do is like when I get like to the end of the like once my necklace is long enough to where it could either fit over my head or whatever, then I like fold these cords over and then I do like some kind of macrame binding knot like I did here, which is, you know, if you look at a lot of my lessons, I think the Buddha necklace has a macrame binding knot in front, and just check out some of the other ones because those have those as well. And the other thing I want to show you is when you do your knotting, let's say with this kind of cord, I just want to, okay, it's stiff. Eslon is stiff, so you want to soften it up before you do your knotting with it. And the way you do that is you take a peg and then you just make like an overhand knot. And then you just run it through because it's not going to knot very well if you don't do this. You need to make it softer. With silk, you don't need to do this because silk doesn't have any kind of sizing on it. And one thing that I like to do, like before I add beads on, because this is a synthetic, you can make like a faux needle. So you could just take a clip this. I'm going to put an overhand knot because I'm going to show you how to make a faux needle. Okay. You just hold it like I guess like not too, don't pull it too hard, but just take a lighter and run it like over the bottom like that. And what it does is it heat hardens it. And, you know, let me get some beads here so I can, let's get these guys. So you come in, and the best way to like cut this is probably with a single edge razor because it makes it nice and straight. See that? Because, you know, if you're if your cord is like hooked, I mean, it's just so much harder to get your beads on. So I'm going to put a few beads on here. I'm just going to grab a big chunk like this and get this in. And see, when you do the difference between the cord that I was using for this versus S-Lon. See, S-Lon's a twisted cord. So when you're using a twisted cord, you need a knotting awl. Otherwise, you run into like this weird problem. I don't know what it's called or how to even explain it, but you know, I'm just because this is like a demo on just how to do the knotting. This is not so much a project. I'm going to just leave this at that. Okay, let me get it on the cleat here. Okay, let me zoom out. Let me grab a knotting awl. And when you get a knotting awl, make sure it's nice and sharp. Nothing's worse than a blunt knotting awl. Let's see what I got. Okay, ooh, that's sharp. That thing can draw blood. Okay, so let me zoom in. Okay, we got our beads here. Hang on a second. They don't look the right color. Let me fix this. Ah, there we go. I was like, what on earth? Okay, so so you make your first knot, and then whoops. Okay, let me see if I can get this in here this way. Okay, that works. So you bring your bead down, you do your overhand knot just like you did before. Everything's going to stay the same, except this time you are going to put a knotting awl in there. Because the cord has this weird tendency to like buckle. And those buckled knots are really hard to take out. I mean, I probably should have used a thicker cord for these beads, but I didn't, because you can barely see the knots. But that's so. You know what? One thing you can do. Let's do this. You could put 2 knots in between. Let's try that, just to give it more definition. So one nice thing about knotting this way with the awl, it's super easy to like stack your knots. Like you just come over here right at the top of the knot, just like that. You put your knotting awl in and then come back towards you. See that? I get my fingernail and I just really gently, not just really gently, and then I crank it down. See that? Isn't that cool? And when I do the double knot, you just on that second knot, it's not heavy-handed, because you want to make sure that. So I'm going to be gentle when I do this one. So I'm going to get that knot right there, put the knotting awl in, and bring it right back, and just use my fingernail to like tap it down so it just ends up right at the very, very top. So you can get something that looks like that. Or you could do 3 knots in between. But the sky's the limit. And this, so when you're using a twisted cord knotting awl, when you are doing like this wax braided cord, and I'll give you I'll show you like the profile of it. Let's see if we can zoom in. See that? There's no twisting. And so any cord that's not twisted, leather, super, super fast. The wax braided cord, cotton cord, faux leather, you know, you just look at it and you'll know. Is this a twisted? No. So this, you can do your knotting like super duper fast. Anyway, that is it. That is how you do the super duper fast knotting. This is one of my favorite techniques. And I'm glad to share it with you. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.